Last story that I want to talk about, which is kind of more on brand with this channel, is a prep program in Canada, a good prep program as of late, has some weird going on. So Northern Kings, the affiliate of Bill Crothers, the former affiliate of Bill Crothers, I reached out to Northern Kings asking for more information on the situation. They didn't get back to me, so I'm going to speculate. But for those listening on audio only, this is what Northern Kings added to their Instagram account yesterday. Bill Crothers is internalizing the prep basketball program and has decided to use teachers to lead the boys basketball teams moving forward. The next slide says, this comes after a season that saw the teams go from the bottom of the OSBA standings to the championship game at the senior prep level. Our junior prep team made it to the Final Four and was the only team to beat the eventual champion. So right here, these first two slides are saying, hey, we're getting fired, or we're not getting our contracts renewed, or they're not keeping us around anymore. And this is happening even though we turned this program completely around, which is true. We had Keon Mayers on the program last week, debuted last week. It was actually a few weeks ago. And he was talking about a couple kids over at Northern Kings that he thinks are slept on. So Northern Kings is developing good players. They're bringing in good players. They had a good season, and they're not being brought back for whatever reason. The next slide says, all of our 2020, wait, did I miss one? Yeah, no. So the next slide says, all of our 2020 graduates moved on to post-secondary opportunities through their contribution to the team and Bill Crothers community. It was the biggest single season turnaround in league history. Now, I don't know the history of the league. I can't attest to that being true or not, but it is true that their guys, they all got deals. One went to Queens. I don't know where everyone went. I know one went to Purdue. So you got D1 offers, you got U Sports offers. They got kids scholarships. They got kids into great situations, what prep is supposed to do, which makes this even more puzzling. But let's see what else they said. They said this internalization is only happening with boys basketball at the school. Many other sports will continue to bring in third-party organizations to operate their high-performance teams. Northern Kings is its own basketball program that was affiliated with Bill Crothers, that was developing the prep side of their basketball program. This happens with all their other sports. And what Northern Kings is saying right now is that this internalization where teachers are going to handle the basketball team is only happening for the basketball program. It's not happening for volleyball. It's not happening for soccer. Nothing else. It's just the boys basketball team. So now we get a little suspicious. The next slide says, unfortunately, the school's rationale for their decision was unclear, as no specific reasons were provided. Instead, they just attempted to overwhelm us with compliments on the fantastic success and pride we brought to the school. Something's fishy here. I feel like I'm not getting the full story. I don't know what's happening, but we'll keep reading. The next slide says, the lack of transparency points to systemic issues facing our sport and society. It continues to surface in every part of our world, including youth sport and our school systems. A York Region District School Board superintendent refused to answer any questions when asked for further clarity on their decision-making process. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide says, the lack of respect and disregard for the future of what are primarily young Black males, in line with many of the systemic issues surrounding discriminatory policies and practices the school board has faced over the last few years, and as recently as a few weeks ago. This is the slide, right? This is the slide. This is Northern Kings, and please comment back. Please hit me back with a clarification. I'll clarify myself. I'll change the record. But what this is saying is that, look, Bill Crothers might have a racial problem with our program. We support young Black men in their pursuit of basketball. We've done a great job. Look, we've turned the season around. We turned the program around in 1 year. We have guys getting offers left, right, center. And this is only happening to men's basketball. And we can't help but notice that men's basketball is the only predominantly Black affiliation the school has. Northern Kings, let me know if you have anything else to add to this, because this is what I'm reading into it. I think this is what you want us to read into it. I would love to know more about the situation, but I think essentially what's being alleged here is racism against Bill Crothers. If that's the case, we should be holding Bill Crothers accountable. I will extend the same opportunity to Bill Crothers too. Now, this isn't a program that gets millions of views, thousands of views, nothing like that. So I don't know if this is slanderous to you guys or not, but Bill Crothers, if they want the opportunity to explain themselves further, I think they have to. This is a powerful, powerful message being brought by Northern Kings. And if it's true, which I'm leaning towards it is, but I would like to know more about it. If it's true, we should hold the school accountable. If this is not true, the school needs to come out and say something more explicitly why this is the way it has to be. Now, there is an alternative reality where maybe post-pandemic, the basketball program was too expensive to keep. I don't know what the finances are for that, but maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's just, hey, you guys are expensive coaches. The program is expensive to maintain with the travel, with the resources that you guys asked for, and we're just going to take it ourselves and make do with what we have. And if that's the case, then that's the case, right? But it is very suspicious that the only Black dominated sport in the program is the only one getting ousted. Do soccer teams travel? Do volleyball teams travel? Are these programs not as expensive? And look, it's definitely not on the merits, right? Northern Kings did not get dismissed from Bill Crothers because of a lack of success. It's quite the opposite. It's quite clear it's the opposite. So I want to know what's going on with Bill Crothers. Anyways, next slide. 1.5 years into a pandemic, and Bill Crothers nor the board have provided any communication or guidance for athletes and families who were openly recruited to the school, a school that specializes in sport, and more specifically high performance sport, funded by the board. This isn't leadership, this is neglect. Young people deserve opportunities, not politics. Our program will continue to support our athletes throughout the transition out of the school and into a supportive environment where they can achieve both their academic and athletic goals by next season. We will not let our athletes and their families down and continue to lead through this tough time. Next steps and alternative options are being explored and are already in the works. We will follow up with details shortly. That's, again, a huge aspect of this, is that you had kids committing to the program. They see that all these other kids are getting these wonderful opportunities because of Northern Kings. And then Bill Crothers is pulling the rug from underneath them for what's being alleged racism. They haven't spoke on it to my knowledge. I'd love for someone to speak to it, but all indications right now are pointing towards a systemic problem. So we'll have to see, but I hope these kids, they bounce back on their feet. I'm not too worried about the coaching. I'm not too worried about the Northern Kings program, because Northern Kings program is successful. It is what it is. They're going to bounce back. They can attach themselves to any program and make it a winner. Those guys have been doing a tremendous job. Kings will have time to get an alternative option ready, and it looks like they already have one ready. So those kids will hopefully bounce back. Bill Crothers, we need answers. This seems to be a super unacceptable thing that's going on here. But again, I would leave the door slightly open for something that has not been explained yet. But all indications are pointing towards something very troubling. And with that, that's everything I had to talk about today. Chris Paul opt out. What are the Raptors going to do? And this Northern Kings Bill Crothers story. So if you guys liked this video, if you guys liked this podcast, leave me a nice review, leave me a thumbs up, and maybe we'll do this again sometime. This is kind of fun. Anyways, see ya.